Alright, so I've got a new microphone, there's no convention this weekend, I'm having writer's block for my steampunk comic, and I've decided what anime I want to do next. See, I was going to do Ghost in the Shell, but I'm unsure whether I want to hit the movie or Standalone Complex. And while a lot of the themes are actually the same in both, Standalone Complex had one major philosophy speech near the end that kind of threw things out of whack a little. Next I was thinking Afro Samurai, but well, I've watched it about 3 times over now, and I keep finding different angles to go with, so, give me some time to think that one over. Finally, I've decided on Fooly Cooly, mostly because it actually got asked twice at the last con I went to, but also because it kind of fits this Adult Swim thing I got going. So general spoiler warning here, though honestly, this series is rather unique in that, well, I'm not sure the plot is even relevant to the message it tries to tell. I mean, sure, it lays the story out, but the characters are really the stars. And really, that's how it should be. Anyway, to summarize, Fooly Cooly is the story of Takun, a boy a bit too old for his age, and the sudden series of life-changing events that bring him down to the proper age. The whole show actually had a meaningful impact for me because it hit me at a time when I was experiencing changes to my body, where my opinion of girls started to change, and where I started to take risks I wouldn't have taken before. I like to think it had the effect on a lot of people, but I know not everyone reads into things as deeply as I do. And besides, look at this show. It's easy to get lost just in the animation alone. I mean, did you know they spent 26 episodes worth of budget on this show? That's just awesome. Add to that, it has what I consider to be the best soundtrack in an anime ever, and anyway, you don't call Pizza Hut for a hamburger, and you don't come here for my opinions on anime. So I'd really love to apply my rule of 3 to this show, but I'd have to stretch it to like rule of 8 or something, because each episode of Fooly Cooly asks a specific question and answers said question. I'm gonna make a whole episode out of it someday, but for now, let's just dust off that old broad question. What is maturity? Maybe to make it a little more fancy, is perceived maturity the same thing as actual maturity? Much like the Simpsons universe, in Fooly Cooly, nobody seems to act the right age. The adults act too young, the young act too mature, and don't get me started on the robots. It's a pretty simple but a very effective way to let us know that age and maturity are the central themes. The main plot of the show mainly concerns a woman named Haruko's plot to find her super powerful intergalactic pirate boyfriend and a nameless government organization's attempts to stop her. Caught in the crossfire is Takun, a boy at about that age, who for the rest of his life will be able to look back and realize that he had the best puberty ever. Now what I love, and I mean really love about this show, is that it teases you about the whole broad message. One episode it says that you have to grow up, while the next says, be a kid, and then the next says, sometimes kids don't have a choice, they have to grow up, and then the next says, well actually your biological maturity is the final thing, and then the next one says, well, maybe not. It's wonderful to have a show that thematically screws with you. It's either the result of very good writing or complete negligence, and I can't get enough of it. Writers, have the balls to take this approach, I beg you. I mean, that's what makes Fight Club so awesome. Okay, off track a little there. Back on point. Okay, so this show is like a coming-of-age story in reverse. See, in your run-of-the-mill coming-of-age tale, the hero goes on a quest, grows up, learns a little bit about himself. Fooly Cooly decided to turn that on its head. Takun is our hero who goes on a quest, learns to act his appropriate age, and then learns a lot of what he thought was true about himself is in fact not true. Good stuff. So like I said before, this show screws with you a little when it comes to the central theme. As such, there's not really an exact path on what the show seems to recommend in terms of maturity. It sort of leaves it up to you. But because it's in my nature to read a little too deeply into things, I'm going to overanalyze a single quote I think represents the whole message well.
I love you.
Okay, so he just told Haruko that he loved her, but for my money, I'm guessing he didn't mean that he romantically loved her. I'm going to guess this. Haruko brought Takun out of his daily grind, away from his normal life, out of the downward spiral of a relationship he had, out of his brother's shadow. All these things, all these changes, that's what he was saying when he said he loved her. Takun was too mature for his age, and he knew it. But he needed a catalyst, something to push him down and set him straight. So I like to think that the show is saying that to grow up, you gotta be a kid. Then again, I'm a huge Ninamori fan, so maybe I'm a little biased and just looking for a way to say that Takun misunderstood his own feelings. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. This is indeed a very Fooly Cooly episode. Alright, so it's really hard to recommend any reading for this anime. It's very hard, just trust me. I could name a few things that kind of sort of fit, but only one thing seems to fit really well, and that's The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. Read it and take a step back. Ponder a bit. Think about maturity, perception, the expectations of those around you, and your expectations of yourself. So until next time, I'm still philosophizing, trust me. So just send me your requests and I'll cook you up a tasty dish of knowledge.